Alright, good morning. It is about 5, it's actually 4:20 in the morning. And today, or tonight rather, we're gonna be eating ramen. So the reason I'm up so early is because it's gonna take 12 hours to make our broth. So, let's get started. And the ingredients you're going to need today are, first, for the broth, these are pig's trotters. And then you're going to need one large yellow onion. If you could find one of those really big ones, that would be great. I'm going to use this kind of medium one, the smaller one. You're going to need garlic, ginger, shallots, dried mushrooms, some kombu for the dashi, and it's dried kelp. You're going to need some dried seaweed, some ramen noodles, bonito flakes, some mirin, some soy sauce, and some sake. Okay, so step one is we're going to get ourselves a nice big pot. We're going to put our pig's trotters in there, and we're going to fill this. I have about 6 pounds of pig's trotters in here, and we're going to fill this with water to about 2 inches above, and then we're going to put this on the stove and bring it to a rolling boil. While that's coming to a boil, what you're going to do is, as soon as it comes to a rolling boil, you're going to let it stay there for about 10 minutes. It's going to start excreting a lot of scum to the top, and you're going to come through and you're just going to skim it off. Alright, while the pork is coming to a boil, we're going to start prepping our vegetables. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our onions and we're just going to quarter them. Same with the shallots, we're just going to quarter them. So we're going to take 2 knobs of ginger, peeled. One ingredient I forgot to mention was green onions. And you're just going to take one bunch of them, just cut the ends off. And we're going to cut this into 3-inch segments, something like that. Alright, and we're just going to need about 4 cloves of peeled garlic. Now if we come over to our pot, still not at a full boil yet, but you'll notice this is like kind of frothing up a little bit, and we're actually going to scoop that out, as we don't want that in there. My coffee is ready, and the sunrise is amazing. I don't know if you could hear every chicken in the neighborhood waking up. Okay, so it's been over 10 minutes, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and I'm going to strain it and run it. I'm going to strain the pork trotters out, and I'm going to run them under cold water. So that's what we're going to do right now. Now that we rinsed those off, what we're going to do is we're just going to refill, we're going to toss them back in the pot, and we're going to refill the pot to about the same level of water that we started, and we're going to toss in all of our vegetables. We got all that good stuff in there, and what we're going to do now, we're going to bring it to a rapid boil, put a top on it, let it get to a rapid boil, and then we're going to bring it down to a gentle boil. And this is where the 12-hour mark starts. So at about this time tonight, we'll be eating ramen. Okay, so we've had our broth on the stove for a number of hours now, and we have maybe 3 to 4 hours left to go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start our chashu pork, and so that's like a braised pork belly. And it's going to need to go in the oven for about 3 to 4 hours. So this is about the time that you want to put that in there, get that going, and then by the time that's done, the broth should be done and everything else should be done, and it can all go together. So we're going to start on that right now. You're going to need an oven safe pot. I'm going to use this one. What you're going to do is you're going to start by taking another bunch of green onion, and you can just drop it in there. You're going to take 4 to 5 whole cloves of garlic. You can just drop them in there too. Take 1 3-inch knob of ginger. Slice it into 1/4-inch slices. And you could just drop those in there too. We're going to take our sake. We're going to need half a cup of sake and half a cup of Shaoxing wine. If you don't have any Shaoxing wine, just use 1 whole cup of sake. You're going to need 3/4 cups of mirin, 1/2 cup of soy sauce, and lastly, you're going to add 1/3 cup of regular water. We have a roll of pork belly. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're just going to lower it into there. Just like that. We're going to take this over to the stove top, and we're going to bring it to a boil and then bring it down to a simmer, and we're going to toss it right into the oven. So the pork has another 30 minutes, and I just rotated it, and so for the last few hours, every 30 minutes, I would just come and flip it and then baste it just a little bit, just to keep it moist all around. And so I'm just going to push it right back into the oven for another 30, and we're going to be done. Okay, so it's been 12 hours now. So the broth is now done, and the chashu pork is just about ready. It's gonna be ready in maybe another 30 to 45 minutes. So what I'm gonna get to work on now is the tare, and so it's just an additional flavoring. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be steeping some kombu and bonito flakes with a few other elements, and then just preparing all the toppings that I have for the rest of my ramen. So to start with, I'm going to rehydrate my dried shiitake mushrooms. So we have our kombu in this small pot right here, and I have some hot water, about a quart of hot water. I'm just going to pour that in there. So this is we're gonna let this steep for about 10 minutes. So for our toppings, we have some dried seaweed, some chopped green onions, and we're gonna have soft boiled eggs. So now we're going to be adding our bonito flakes in there, and we're gonna be letting this steep in with the kombu for about 5 minutes.
Making a hard boiled egg. Did you crack one?
Yeah, I did crack. Alright. The eggs are still boiling. The chashu pork is now done, and the broth has been strained. Alright, our kombu and our bonito flakes have been steeping, and so what we're going to do is we're going to add a 3/4 cup of soy sauce, and take a 1/4 cup of mirin, and then we're going to pour a 1/4 cup of our chashu liquid. Just about. And then we're going to take a 1/4 cup of the juice from our mushrooms that we were steeping. And we're just going to salt it and stir. Alright, first things first, we're going to take our tare and we're going to pour it into the bowl. Then you're going to take your broth and ladle yourself some. Take some of our chashu pork, drop it on in. A couple of slices of our seaweed. Sprinkle in some green onions. And then to finish it off, we just have a soft boiled egg. Thank you for watching. I hope you give it a try.